Hello everybody, this is Simonski again, and in this tutorial, which is the third one of my game tutorials, I will show you how you use game key objects to open doors or to trigger anything. So yeah, let's go for it. So the second, little bit less important but also very interesting dungeon mechanic would be using keys and triggers and anything to open doors or objects. You can see I already have this object that restores health portion. This is basically a prop, so this is nothing super complicated. This is a prop, and you can set up that it gives you a little bit amount of health, 200, and how long it takes to restore your health. That's all. But here in this room, I also do have this kind of torch thingy here. And I can turn on 2 lights. And once the 2 lights are turned on, the door opens to the next room. So how did I set up these guys over here? There's different ways, of course, you can do it. I would just go through the way I did it here. So I basically did something, an object check. So if the object that enters has the tag torch, which I gave to that torch over there, then the line continues. Then this I will explain later why I have this. Basically what it does, it checks a condition that I called light 2. And if it's true, very important, then nothing happens. If it's false, then this line will continue. I will explain in a bit why I did this. After this, I have made an integer variable that's called door room 2 because it's this room 2. And the integer variable door room 2 will be increased by 1. And then the Boolean will turn to light. The light 2 will turn to true, which is just a safety switch. So I can only trigger this once because it's turned to true after this number is added. And then whenever I enter the torch again, it will not get past this because this is now true. It's normally always false at the beginning. But now it's true, so it will stop here. Will not add any more number to this value, which is very important. Otherwise, I could just turn off put the lamp in here several times, and it will basically always add to this value, and it will soon be 5 or something. And I don't want that to be. I want that to work only once. And then it goes to an event sender that will send out an event that we will check after that, and turns on the emitter, so I have a signal, like a optical signal that something happened. You could also put a sound or anything. Just make a signal that people see something happened. And I basically did the same, just changing it. This is all the things are called light 1. Dorm room 2 is the same. I did the same thing over here with light 1. So that's why it's important to go to the event receiver of this event called room 2 that we have the event sender for. So this one is over here. So I had to create the event by event definition here, call it room 2. And then have an event receiver that will always be triggered when one of these event senders is getting a signal. What does this do? This checks if the condition of door room 2 is 2. And if it is, then it opens the door. If it's more or less, then the door will stay closed. For safety, if you do something like this, you could also use the equal or greater thing. So if anything goes wrong, like if someone plays around or 2 people turn on this light at the same time or anything like this, this is not synchronized now, so this will be dungeon. This is a dungeon that's only made for one person, basically. If you try it with a lot of persons, you might run into some more issues where you have to do more complicated circuitry, so to speak. But yeah, basically, if you instead of equals, use the equals or greater, then you will be safe that it's only not triggering when this number is below 2. So just to let you know. Yeah, what else can you do to make some key objects? This is not a key, but I will use this as an example for now. So what you could do as well is just the classic key that I already explained to you. You would give this a tag that's called key1, for example, for special door, and you would have people carry this around, put it in some lock, door opens. That's another way to open the door. Another way would be, and the problem with this, no, that's before I explain the other way. The problem with this would be if you carry around the sword and the shield and stuff like this. You would have to drop the sword and the shield. You would have to, you know what I mean. You would have to drop it. If you only have one, or you only have one hand, and you can work around with this, of course, with the option of the roll chips that I already explained in the roll chip tutorial, by adding a holster, so you can holster it to your side. But then you can still only carry around 1 or 2 keys, and you would still have to drop your shield and pick it up again. Now, that's not the ideal way. You could do that if you wanted to be very interactive. But if you have a really huge dungeon, and maybe a dungeon with some master keys and some like normal keys that you can use for every door, then for the master key I would suggest you to use also the Boolean variables. So basically you can combine this with trigger volumes, of course. You can, when you just step on something, but you could also combine this easily. Where is it? I don't need to show you, know how it works. You could also easily combine this with the interaction volume, put the key in there, and just let people, when people use this, pick it up. Just the boss key value changes from false to true, and when you ever step up in front of the boss door, there's a trigger volume again. And if you have the boss key Boolean be true, then the door is activated and opens, and if it's false, nothing happens. As easy as this would be if you have very specific keys, and if you have, for example, like some generic keys, you can use this system here. So whenever you step onto a generic key or pick it up, there is one number added to this, maybe this integer that could be called generic key. And when you step in front of a door, you will lose one number of this integer and the door will open. So this way you can make generic keys that work for several doors. Just make sure you find a way that people cannot pick up the same, oh, I did it again. Pick up the same key several times, so to speak. Yeah, because this could happen, yeah? And people could just go here and do this, and then the value will go up all the time. So you have to put in a safety so they can only pick up the key once, and then I have to find another one. But this can be done in the same way I did it here with the light, or with just this thing set locked, so you can only do it once and then it's locked. Something like this. So you can use different systems, or a trigger volume that is deactivated once you enter it. Something like this. So these are the ways I would come up with for dungeons to use, make it a little bit more interesting, to collect keys, and maybe even other stuff, in order to make the dungeon a really appealing dungeon experience. Thank you guys for watching again. As always, like and subscribe, and visit my extra room that I built to show off the things that you can do and to give you a little bit insight, especially when the circuits come up, that you can just check out, make a selfie, post it, whatever. And yeah, see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.